Happy Wednesday, ICC friends. It is your girl Xaviera, and we are back with another installment of Ice Cream Convos with. And today we're very excited to welcome back one Mr. Clifton Powell. So if you know me, you know Ice Cream Convos, you know we are huge fans of Clifton Powell, and we will be welcoming him back today to talk about this exciting movie event that is coming up this weekend on Bounce TV. It is Saints and Sinners Judgment Day. It is a movie event, and if you are a fan of Saints and Sinners, you are going to absolutely love this film. Okay, so one moment, let me just check. Okay, I see we have some questions coming in. Let's see if we have Mr. Clifton Powell with us yet. I'm very excited to talk to him. Oh, he's here. He's here. For him to come in, just let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know how your day is going. And let me know if you are a Saints and Sinners fan, because there he is.
How are you? How are you?
How are you? So good to see you again, Clifton.
Good to see you.
How have you been?
Now, how does this thing work? You know, I'm horrible with this new technology. Am I on? Do I need to move anything or turn anything around or what?
No, you're absolutely fine. I can see you well. Can you see and hear me well?
I can see and hear you well.
Okay, well, we're good to go. We are good to go. You looking deaf? Are you outside?
I'm in my lobby of my condo, and it's pretty cold outside. I was going to sit outside, but I kind of took my mind off of that after the chill hit me.
Oh yeah, listen, I only come outside when I have to. So last time I talked to you, we were kind of in the middle of the pandemic. Things were going on. So we have a new year upon us. We have a new president. So how are you feeling about the outlook of 2021?
I feel great. I feel what people have to understand is Joe Biden is a 30 to 35 year politician.
Yes.
He's a true politician.
Yeah.
Now, we know Joe's a little touchy-feely, but I don't think Joe's a predator. You know, Joe's like your uncle at the picnic. Just hug you a little too hard.
Yeah, he's a little handsy. He's a little handsy.
You know, he's a little handsy. But I don't think Joe is a predator.
Yeah.
You know, I think Joe Biden is a hell of a politician. But let's also remember Joe Biden was Obama's vice president.
Absolutely.
So he learned and watched a lot, learning about the whole terrain of politics in this era.
Yes.
By watching Obama, who's smooth as ice.
Okay.
And so Joe Biden is going to turn this thing around. I believe he will. I think he's already started off doing some wonderful things. People have to understand politics. They're trying to they blocked everything that Obama did. They blocked it.
Yes, they did.
They blocked everything that he did. And it was unfortunate. And they're trying to block everything that Biden is doing. The stimulus package, well, they sent out $600, $1,400 and $600 makes $2,000. He wanted $2,000 from the beginning. The Republicans, all for the most part, voted against anybody getting damn near $200. So we have to understand socialism is not anything radical. Socialism means for the people. Yeah. Now, let's move over to my sister, Kamala Harris.
Okay.
I know people want to hold her record against her. Let's talk about this sister. I had an opportunity to meet her in Detroit. She is amazing. And she also understands the law. And back during her time with the marijuana laws and all that stuff, she can only follow the law. And she has owned that along with Joe Biden. I've made mistakes in my life. I've made mistakes in my personal life. And I've had to apologize and move on.
Right.
We have two competent people in the White House. For all of you guys out there who are African-American and Latino that voted for Trump, hey, you need to go do your homework about Donald Trump and how dirty he really is.
Yeah.
Just do your homework. All you guys that are worried about the money and how he's going to do the money, Donald Trump was a cancer in this country. We saw democracy go out of the window.
Yes.
If it had been black people storming the Capitol, they would have shot everybody on sight. And there's two types of justice in this country. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I hope they can run for 29 years because they're going to turn this thing around. And that's how I feel. And if anybody don't like what I said, don't come to my DMs because I really don't care what you think.
You don't.
Because I understand. I grew up in the 60s. I was born in 56. I remember, and I'm going to say this very quickly.
Okay.
President Kennedy had to be the last beacon before Obama and Clinton of democracy in this country. It was a turbulent time. And they shot his head off in broad daylight, just like they shot King in broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
And then they shot Malcolm. And then they shot Robert. I never believed after that, especially shooting Kennedy, that we would ever see democracy again in this country. And when I saw them storm that Capitol, I was in shock, and I'm still in shock. And so to see this new regime, I think we have to get behind them. I think we have to hold them accountable.
Yes.
But we have to give them a chance to make this thing right. And it can be right. If people, I played Dr. King years ago in Selma, Lord Selma, and he said, if we don't learn to live together as brothers, we are going to perish together as fools. So that's what I have to say about that. And I know that's a mouthful, but y'all got to understand, I come out of a different era, and black folks are tired, man. All we really want, white folks, if you're listening, good white folks, even the bad white folks, all we want to do is be treated fairly and given an opportunity like everyone else, and be judged by the character and the content of our character and not by the color of our skin. And it's not that hard. And if you don't get it, we're going to move you out the way. So you might as well get ready.
Okay. Get right or get left.
Black power, baby.
Okay. I love talking to you. This is why I love talking to you. And anytime I have the opportunity to talk to you, Clifton, I'm like, yeah, Clifton. I want Clifton. I want Clifton. Because you always just drop gems, and you always speak so truthfully, and you speak truth to power at the same time. So that's one of the reasons why I love talking to you. And anytime you start, I'm like, just go ahead. Say what you got to say. Go ahead.
Let me just help y'all out real quick.
Okay.
Debbie Allen, as the great queen she is, was my dance teacher at Duke Ellington, and Workshop for Careers in the Arts. And Glenda Dickerson, her one of her best friends, God rest her soul, Kenneth Doherty, Peggy Cooper Cafridge, Charles Brown, all of those were the people who came before me and poured into me, and they poured blackness into my bones. So I can't just let it slide under the table. I got to do what they taught me to do, is be here for my people, and that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. So I know you have been very busy since the last time I talked to you. So I had the opportunity and the pleasure to view Saints and Sinners Judgment Day. Sir, I was like, I literally had to tell myself, like, do not get on this live and call this man Rex. Do not get on this live.
Girl, please. You know, they call me Pinky. Some of the old cats call me Chauncey. You know, people call me by my character. Like, my name really is Clifton Pinky Powell. I mean, because that's all everybody calls me. But people love Rex Fisher. It is such, man, I watched the scene the other day because we did an interview, me and Vanessa. And man, I think this is the first time in a long time I'm proud of my own work, because my teacher taught me well. That scene between, and that Vanessa, I want to scratch her eyes out. I was like, Vanessa, where you get them tears from? Is she the best? The whole cast is amazing.
Yes. And when the two of you are in scenes together, oh my gosh, it is just undeniable moments. Undeniable.
Thank you so much.
Sir, I literally thought to myself, I was like, I don't want to deal with anybody named Leona for the rest of my black ass life. I don't. When you said.
Let me say this to y'all out there. Y'all Negroes. Can I say Negroes?
Yes, you can. You can say whatever
y'all
you want.
Negroes. I'm telling y'all now, y'all hearing it from Pinky and Rex Fisher. If y'all think Rex Fisher is a problem, wait until y'all see this Judgment Day and then roll into season 5. This lady Leona is crazy. Remember I told y'all, don't call me, don't DM me and say, nah, she ain't that crazy. That lady crazy.
No. When you said, when Rex said, that bitch crazy, I was hollering. I was like, she sure is. I literally was talking back to the screen. Like, oh, hell no. It is fantastic.
And we got to give it up for, first of all, for Swirl Films. We got to give it up for the whole crew. We got to give it up for everybody behind the scenes. But we got to give it up for Bounce for taking a chance on this show, Russ Parr. And people don't know that this show is if you haven't seen this movie by Russ Parr called The Under Shepherd. Have you ever seen The Under Shepherd?
No, I haven't seen The Under Shepherd.
Oh my God. Go back and watch The Under Shepherd, because Saints and Sinners is a spinoff of The Under Shepherd.
Okay. I'm writing it down.
It's an amazing movie. So, and we got to give it up for, Bounce TV, Eric Thomas, Keith Neal, and all my guys over at Swirl, Gutter, Terrell, James. But the cast is just amazing.
Amazing.
You know, and of course the Queen of Queens, Miss Vanessa Bell Calloway, because I'm gonna tell you this right now, that damn Leona, we're gonna put her in a whole class by herself.
Yes.
She just was crazy as hell.
As hell. When she even okay, I have to stop myself because I don't want to give away too much.
You don't want to cut too much.
Yes, because Saints and Sinners Judgment Day comes on this Sunday, Valentine's Day, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Bounce TV. Now,
Yes.
if you haven't been keeping up with Saints and Sinners, what I loved most about this film is that even if you have not had the opportunity to be introduced to Saints and Sinners or keep up with Saints and Sinners, you can come in and watch this film, and it is so well written. It is so beautifully done that you can literally learn every character throughout this film, and it sets you up perfectly to go right into season 5 of Saints and Sinners. So, you know, don't not watch because you say, oh, I haven't been watching. No. Trust and believe. This movie is so powerful. It stands alone, but it's also a beautiful bridge, like going into season 5.
So now, where are you at right now? You look like you're in Chicago somewhere.
No, I'm in Atlanta. That's
You in
why I
Atlanta?
know not to go outside.
Okay, yeah, because you look nice and cozy inside, and I got this big ass jacket on. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, first I want to say this. I am so honored to be a part of this show.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be a part of Swirl Films. And I'm going to tell people a quick story. Okay. Eric Thomas, when I met him, he said, Clifton Powell, man, I'm a fan of your work. And I was going through a very dark period in my life. I was coming out of my divorce, and I was out of money. And when I came to Atlanta, I had $100 in my pocket.
Wow.
But when I first met Eric Thomas 7 or 8 years earlier, he said to me, he said, Cliff Powell, I'm a fan of your work. When I work, you're going to work. And so I came already attached to Saints and Sinners, and I'm just always going to be, what the word that I'm trying to find is indebted to Eric Thomas, Swirl Films, to Keith Neal, who's my right-hand guy, has been walking with me for 15 years, and to Bounce TV, man, because if it wasn't, I don't know where I would be right now. But also to all the young artists out there, man, don't quit, man.
Yeah.
Believe in your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't do, because I was the worst actor in my program. But I'm so grateful because the angels cleared my life out and gave me a brand new start. And it's apropos that in the Under Shepherd, I play a pastor that can't preach.
Wow.
So they switched it and made me the tough guy, and made Beyonce's stepdad, the pastor, Richard Lawson, the pastor.
Yes.
And that's how we got to Saints and Sinners. If you haven't seen season 1 through 5, I'm telling y'all now, go back and watch, 1 through 4, get you some red wine and some popcorn and sit your little black butt down and watch it. It is so juicy.
Listen, it is juicy indeed. And I'm just so excited for you. And I'm excited for the Swirl Film family. I'm excited for the Saints and Sinners family. I have so many friends on the cast, so I'm just rooting for y'all all the time. So I'm just very excited about this. And you have been so busy. Like, in addition to this, you have some other film projects coming up. I don't know if you want to talk about those just yet, or if you want to give us a little.
Well, you know, what I am, I honestly, I got to tell you, I just feel so blessed because 5.5 years ago, like I said, I came down here homeless after making millions in Hollywood. I'm doing, you know, I never really planned for this part of my career, but I'm going to start a consultation company because I want to share with the young artists how to avoid some of the pitfalls that I didn't avoid, because there's no rule book on this thing.
No.
And I look at my journey as just one of a blessing. And I want to do a book, and I want to do a one-man show called An Evening with Clifton Powell. And I'm putting all of that together because I want to tackle how to hold on to your money, how to fix your credit, how to get insurance, because a lot of entertainers, we do well and then we don't finish well and we end up broke at the end. So I just look at the work, and especially during the pandemic, to be busy. I just finished doing, now this is going, I'm playing, man, I'm glad it's T.D. Jakes, because I'm playing Carrie Hilson's grandfather in a movie. And I'm playing the pastor and her grandfather. So don't y'all be freaked out, but my hair is all white. My mustache is all white. And I look like I was in Django, but I'm doing, So I just finished doing both of T.D. Jakes' movies, produced through Swirl Films, Lust and Envy.
Yes.
And I'm getting ready to do something with Manny Haley, who did True to the Game
Yeah.
with Bing Rames. So, you know, again, one thing I'm gonna say before we go to the next question is
Yeah.
it's all about relationships. And it's all about everybody out there that wants to be an artist. Pick this book up. Lou Gossett has a book called An Actor and a Gentleman.
Okay.
And people want to know why I work so much is because I try to be good to work with. And I'm just blessed. So that's what's coming up. And you may not recognize me as the guy, as the pastor, because I'm old as hell.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait.
Man, I couldn't wait for that movie to be over so I could cut my hair and put my black rinse back on my mustache.
I can't wait. Now, I know that you've been doing some projects with your son, and I thought that was so exciting.
Oh, my
Let's
goodness.
talk about that. Your son is
Please,
so talented.
Y'all, don't be mad at me for having my glasses on because I know I was going to get to a place where I'm going to start crying. Man, I can't even find the words to tell you what it's like to see your baby grow up.
Yeah.
And become an artist and a writer and hire his dad, who's the icon, and he's directing me. My son had me in the room, so I'm doing this whole character. I don't know if y'all saw the video where I'm doing a spoof on Pinky and I'm playing this pimp, but he's a poor pimp. I mean, like, he's getting pimped, right? And I'm in a dressing room with my son. He's going over the lines, and he's like, and I was like, shut up. He said, nah, Dad, you can't do it like that. You got it. So he starts jumping up and down. So that scene, when you guys see it, not only did he write it, but he directed me through the whole thing.
Wow.
And it's just such a peak experience that I don't think any parent could ask for anything more. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. I know Denzel must feel the same way sometimes.
Yeah. And I always often think about that when you have someone who we look at and who is so revered in the community and we love you so much. And then for you to have a son who is like just as talented and he's just coming up and he's doing these amazing things. And I knew to ask you about your son because you literally, and all the content that you post, you can literally see the glow about you. Like the crowd is beaming off of you, just like it is right now. And that's why I said, I just got to mention that.
Girl, you know, I didn't plan to get emotional this morning.
I'm sorry.
Let me say this, but I do want to say this. My little daughter, Maya, is funnier than my son. And I know she does nails and she has an amazing nail business. Go check her out on IG if you're ever in LA. But she is the funny one. And Clifton is funny as hell too. They both together. So I feel like at some point all three of us going to be together. And then my girl that I'm dating, she's funny. So I feel like all three of us are going to end up doing something. Now let me say this about Clifton.
Okay. I
don't know how Denzel holds it in because I'm so choked up because my dad, again, had a 4th grade education.
Yeah.
My father wasn't a very learned man, but he was a hardworking guy. Mm-hmm. And he instilled in me, he always said, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
And have faith the size of a mustard seed. And my father didn't live long enough to see me on television or in film or anything. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, man. You know what I kind of tell the young people?
Yeah.
The memories inside of your head.
Hang on to them.
That your parents who are there, who's instilling you, man, one day you're going to have your own children and you're going to understand that feeling.
Yes.
And I know that my dad would be so proud of me because he had a 4th grade education. My dad didn't even have a bank account.
Wow.
And he was a functioning alcoholic.
Wow.
But somehow he made it so I could get to college. Mm-hmm. And again, I say I was the worst actor in my program. And a lot of people, I don't talk about how tragically my mother died. Yeah. But when I know that my mom and dad, and especially my daddy, who helped raise me with my sister, is smiling down. And so when I work with my son, man, all those emotions come back up. And then I have to step away and have me a glass of red wine and maybe smoke me a Black and Mild so I don't fall apart on the set. But I wish every parent has a chance to work with their son or daughter in whatever capacity, because it's going to get to you, man. And part of the last thing I'm going to say, part of our job is to make sure we give them the love and support and not be a jealous parent.
Yes.
Some parents try to live through their children, man, and I never wanted to do that.
No.
I'm so proud of all of my children, and I'm especially proud of him and Maya for the things that they do. So There you have it.
Absolutely. Now you never
Man, you got
mentioned.
me all messed up
Listen,
this morning.
listen,
I'm
you know
going. It's
you in a
not even
safe
1
space.
o'clock. I'm gonna have to go get me a glass of wine.
You know you in a safe space. I would come out and have the glass of wine with you. It's too cold.
It is cold. Hey,
It
man, I
is
didn't know it
cold.
got so cold down here.
Listen. But you know what's so funny? Because just a couple days ago, it was beautiful outside. I took my grandbaby
Oh my God.
outside, and we had a good time
Wait,
outside.
you said grandbaby?
Yes,
Girl,
sir.
you put that gray in your hair.
I did not. This is all
You look
natural,
like you
Clifton,
about
I
to your
promise.
you look like you're in your late 20s. Get out of here talking about grandmama.
Thank you, Clifton. See,
Girl,
that's
you
why you're
look
my
good.
favorite.
Yeah,
That's
you
why you're
look
my
good.
favorite. Thank you
You look
so
great.
much. But yeah, it
Now,
was
do you
beautiful.
have a workout regime? Because you really do. You look great.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm so glad this thing is from the waist up. Psh,
I ain't mad at you.
no,
Hey,
no.
one thing I tell y'all out there, if y'all see my feet, woo!
Well, I
So
went
I'm
and got
just
my
glad
feet
I ain't
fixed.
had no love scenes where I got to take my shirt off or nothing. I'm good. And so funny is the only love scene I ever had was with Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Yeah, see, listen, y'all.
We did a BET movie years ago, girl. Woo! But you look great. No, you look great.
Thank you. I sincerely appreciate that, especially going through this quarantine. But I'm going to tell you something a little funny. Since you shared something, I'm going to tell you something. So
Okay.
during the quarantine, I got my grandbaby and, quarantine stress, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
addition to quarantine stress, I discovered Captain Jack Daniels, right?
Uh-huh.
Captain Morgan, excuse me,
I
Captain
ain't mad
Morgan.
at you. I ain't mad at you.
And I was like, I would just have a little glass every night,
Mm-hmm.
just for the wind down. And then
Yeah.
one turned into two. And I said, hold on a second. I
You
need to
turned into an
back up.
alcoholic.
I was like, I got to back up. So for February, I'm going completely dry, and I have lost 3 pounds in a week.
Well, let me address that.
Sure.
It is so difficult because I'm a sake man. I'm a
Oh,
sake and a red wine man. And,
okay.
sometimes you at Rouse. I mean, I'm keep saying Rouse because I'm in LA. I've
Yeah.
lived in LA so long. But I'm at Publix. So 2 days ago, I was at Whole Foods. I said, I'm getting me
Okay.
one bottle of sake. I was like, F that. I'm getting 2. And then yesterday I was at Publix. I was like, gonna get 2 bottles. I was like, no, because if I get 2, I'm turning into an alcoholic. It's so
Yep.
easy. It's
Yes.
so easy to do though. Because I think people's relationships are falling apart.
Mhm.
People are at home more than they ever imagined. And
Yeah.
if you don't really have a date planned out, you really ain't got a damn thing to do. But
No.
get up and go in the living room and then go back in the bedroom and then go to the bathroom and then go back in the living room and get a drink and then smoke some weed and then go back and sit down. So I know it's called discipline. It's
Yeah.
hard.
It is. It
Now
is.
I'm gonna say one thing. Somebody asked me yesterday how I'm managing through the pandemic.
Yeah.
And one of the things about being an artist, especially in the early days of my career, so people are seeing me. So all the time people come up to, oh, you work all the time. You. I said, yeah, but what about the 20 years of unemployment?
Mm-hmm.
Right? From
Mm-hmm.
79 to 89, from 89 to like 2001, man, I was unemployed. But what it taught me is how to deal with isolation and how to deal with idleness. And that's when it can become one of your most productive times.
Yes,
But it
indeed.
takes discipline and it's a mindset. So when I teach a mindset also, because at the end of the day, you're going to go through long periods of unemployment.
Yeah.
And you got to know how to be with yourself. You got to know how to be with yourself and in moderation.
Yes.
That's the key. So
That's the word, moderation. Because listen, Clifton, when I was watching Saints and Sinners Judgment Day, and I got that first scene with Leona, I was like, damn, I need some Captain. I was like, listen, that's a Captain Morgan's film right
and by
there.
the end of the movie, you were drunk. You can tell us.
But I was
You felt
dry. So
good. You felt good.
I had to watch it dry. I'm drying
Yeah.
out. So I was like, because I sure would enjoy me some good Captain Morgan's with a glass full of ice. Ooh, I would enjoy this film right here. Baby,
And you know what I've been doing?
drink
Every
something.
time I get a little tickle in my throat, my father used to say, yeah, this is my medicine. The alcohol is my medicine. So I go get me some hot toddies. So I had to kind of cut those out because I'm getting a hot toddy with the double jack. And really, I know we're joking and having fun, but you really do have to watch everything in moderation.
Yes.
Overeating, everything.
Well, in full transparency, both of my parents were addicts at some point, right? So I know that I have addictive personality.
Alcohol or drugs?
Drugs.
Okay.
So the minute that I feel like I'm doing something a little too much, I immediately cut it off because I know and I recognize in myself that I have an addictive personality.
What's your birth sign?
Capricorn.
Okay. So my dad was a functional alcoholic. and I had uncles and I've had cousins and nephews that have had drug issues, and I have never really done. I mean, I smoked weed years ago,
Right.
but all through college, all through my early years in New York, I didn't smoke anything, and I've never been a weed person, you know. And I just cut it all out because, and when I teach, I advocate no drugs, especially when you're trying to get into this business. There's so much rejection. It's easy a crutch. It can easily become a crutch.
Yes.
And I didn't start drinking until I was 26 because I wanted to be able to manage alcohol. And this entertainment business, you're in the entertainment business, it is something to manage, especially when we come from, you know, generations of, you know, people that suffer with addictions. And so I'm constantly checking myself. And I know we're joking and it kind of got serious, but it is really something to talk about as people go through this pandemic with your relationships. I mean, I know that it's challenged my relationships, you know, with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. It's a lot to do. So, you know, 1 or 2 Captain Morgans, but not 50. And that's in moderation. That's all it is.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I'm starting to be more transparent with my audience, because you never know what someone is going through. And I read this quote, you know, and thank you so much for the way that you support Ice Cream Conversations. I sincerely appreciate it. I really do. I don't take it for granted. But, you know, every morning I post like an inspirational quote. And one day I saw this quote that said, like, your worst, something like about like the worst time in your life can be, your testimony can be something that pulls somebody else out of whatever they're going through. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was raised by my great grandmother, and she always told me, you know, she said, I want you to write a book about your life one day. And I ain't there yet. Like, I feel like I operate in a sense of transparency, but I ain't ready to tell everything. But I do try to share things that I think will help other people, you know, because you just never know what someone is going through. And that's one thing that I appreciate about you. I'm one of the people who said, damn, Pinky always working. But you gave me context. You let me know, listen, it was a 20-year span that I didn't work. And one thing that I love that you said in our last interview, and if you missed that, go back and watch it because Pinky drops gems. You said that during that period of time, it taught you how to work hard. It taught you how to save your money, because when everyone else was stressed out over finances, you were doing fine. And I think a lot of times we as a Black community, we are not taught money management. We are not taught, you know, I jumped into the stock market during the pandemic. So now I'm investing. I'm a whole investor, Clifton.
And I need to talk to you about that because I want to get into that cryptocurrency stuff. But go ahead, keep going. Let me say this very quickly. One of the things I used to struggle with early on in my career was how my mom died. And my mom committed suicide when I was 4.
Wow.
And I didn't talk about it.
I'm so sorry.
And putting me out of the lobby, making me put my mask on, which I think this COVID thing is such overkill, because I'm sitting in a lobby in my $3,000 a month apartment condo, and you're telling me to get out of the lobby to put on a mask or put a mask on while I'm having an interview. That doesn't make sense to me. But I try to go by the rules, you know. So I just had to shift there for everybody who's wondering why I was moving around. This COVID thing just has everybody upside down. And I think that I'm going to go back to your transparency. Part of what you do in the media is no matter what you do, you're going to be judged. So you have to figure out. I saw a play early on in my career. One of my teachers, God rest his soul, all my teachers have passed on except Debbie Allen. And she's going to be around until she's about 200, because she's just there ain't going to be no room for her because she's just so fabulous.
None.
You know,
yes.
I heard a quote, because it was called The River Niger, and it was a Black revolutionary play. It was on Broadway, and one of my teachers was one of the stars. And it said, find your battleground or find your battlefield. And so for you got to find your battlefield, because you have a story to tell, like your grandma said, and you just got to step out on faith. People going to judge you. They talk about me all the time. He talks so much. But if you really understand why I take my time with my students, with friends, or even fans that I meet out, I try to share with you all the stuff that they didn't share with me. When I got to Hollywood, I had no
Right.
blueprint. I had no roadmap. And I've lost millions of dollars. I've been homeless 4 times. I don't give a
Wow.
damn what you Negroes think about me. I'm going to tell you the truth. And that's what I had to grow into that, because I realized, not just being a Pisces because I'm a giver, but that my journey and my battlefield is to share with the young people coming up, because I come out of the 60s and that's what they taught me. Glenda Dickerson, Debbie, Mike Malone, Charles Augins, Kenneth Doherty, Skipper Driscoll, all my teachers. You got to reach back, man, and you got to bring some
Yeah.
folks with you. And so I think if you change your perspective on why you're sharing, share it to change lives. Because if there's 1,000 people in the room and you change one person's life, you did your job the way your grandmother said you should. And that's and because when you're in the media, in a media spotlight, you know, people are like, well, don't say too much and don't say this. Hey, if you want to be in this business and you want to touch people, you got to be clear and you got to be honest and you got to be transparent. And you can't feel shamed about that, you know, because it's always, it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's going to have something negative to say, and you just got to understand that's part of the journey. But so find your battlefield and take some time with yourself and tell your story, because there's a young girl out there that may need to hear it. There may be somebody struggling with addiction. They may need to hear it. And so, like I said, for a long time, I would tell my story and people would say, well, bam, bam, bam. And then I start telling the truth. My mother was a victim of domestic violence. So I speak out against that. My mother was a tragic victim of domestic violence. Almost every other girl I've dated has been beaten or molested. I've run into I did a movie called Women Are Loose, which I get a lot of flack for. But let me just tell y'all how I got that movie. I didn't read that script the week before and say I wanted to do that movie. Reuben Cannon, who's my friend, who's casted me in many movies, Why the Fools Fall in Love, Buffalo Soldiers, Selma, Lord Selma, called me at the final hour because an actor dropped out. I never had a chance to read the script. So when I got to set, I read the script and I said, hey man, I'm not touching this little girl. I know it's in there just to maybe touch her on, you know, even just her arm. I said, we're going to simulate all of that. But and I was worried, but I had to do it because when Reuben, it was a good script, and Reuben is a friend, and that's how I've gotten a lot of work, especially in them days when you don't have any money and Reuben Cannon calls you, you go. But I'm so glad I did that movie, because after the movie, we had screenings and question and answers, and so many women came who have been violated on every level, and we were able to touch them. And then I walked away from that saying, in my personal life, if I write my book, if I tell my story, I'm going to tell it because I want to touch someone, be an inspiration, and help somebody change their lives. And that's how I think you have to look at your story. And it's undaunting. You just see me cry, you know, get emotional about my son. It's undaunting. But you got to do it. But take time. Don't put too much pressure. I don't want you to go back and start writing it today. You're like, hey, Cliff, I wrote a book and I'm going to do a one-woman show all in the hour. But Clifton said. But I just share that with you because when you get to this point, and you're welcome. When you get to this point in the business, I have so much. I have to monitor myself. I have so much information inside of my head that, you know, I want to share. And that's why I'm going to do a one-man show. I try not to do podcasts because I'm not doing it because I'm Clifton Powell. I'm doing it because I want young people to be empowered on a level that I wasn't empowered. And I want you to have some answers from somebody who started in the dirt and made it to the middle, at least. So that's what it all about. So, but that takes courage. That takes courage.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like I made it to the middle.
Does.
The middle ain't a bad place to be.
Listen, I'm gonna let you be great. I'm gonna let you cook. Talk about the middle, but you know, I'm gonna let you be great saying the middle. But I definitely feel like
I feel that the middle, ironically, and we're not gonna get into that because I saw a quote that said the middle is a great place to be. You can go to the top, you can go back to the bottom, and then you can come back and you can move around. But I'm saying that in all honesty, you have a wonderful story to share.
Yeah.
It takes courage to be in the spotlight.
Thank you.
And to share your story. So just pray on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I appreciate that so much. You know what? You my OG. I just gotta say, you my OG, Clifton. And I just appreciate you. And again, now I think everyone understands why I love talking to you. You are a wealth of gems. You are so personable and so humble and so open and just so transparent. Because you know what? That's going to be our word now, Clifton. Transparency, right? That's
Yeah.
going to be our word. And I appreciate you for that.
When you're transparent, you know, you get a lot of flack. I said something about Spike Lee a few years ago. Well, what I said about Spike Lee was true. And in the internal workings of the business, some of those guys, my friend, my buddy who just had a birthday, I got to give him a shout out, Mr. Charles Dutton. Rock.
Oh, yes.
Y'all know Charlie had a birthday last week. He's doing well. He's cool. I talked to him on the phone.
Yes.
So Charlie said, no, Cliff's telling the truth. But a lot of times what happens is we don't do our research and we don't know the history. And so I'm glad that I said that. I took a lot of flack for it. But what happened was, and I commit, and I'm going to say this in the open air, in public, Spike Lee reached out to Tyler Perry, and they had a chance to talk and clear the air. So sometimes you're going to take some flack for telling the truth, but just tell the truth anyway. That's the hard part about being transparent. You gotta understand what your battlefield is and why you're doing it. You're not doing it. I don't do anything for personal gain. It's for the way my teachers trained me to give back. So that's where I'm at. What are we going to talk about next?
Well, Clifton, I'm
finna be a male
so much because you know I will talk to you all day.
I'm finna be a male stripper, y'all. I'll be down at the Claremont this weekend. I got a male stripper review with older gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
And come on down. No, I'm joking. I'm want to end up doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna end up doing something stupid at the end. I don't know what it is. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Please, everybody, watch Judgment Day.
It'll be fun.
February 14th is Sunday. It's an amazing movie. Go ahead. Say, what do you want to say? Are we? Let's stop.
No, I was just on your heels, just telling everyone to tune in. Yeah, no, listen, you know I would talk to you all day, Clifton, but I know that you're busy and, you know, I got to get back to work. I got to start on this book. But, you know, I definitely appreciate you. I appreciate you taking your time out to talk to me. I appreciate the way you support Ice Cream Combos. And just thank you for continuing to share your talent with us and just for giving us those classic moments and those gems, you know, everything from Pinky to Rex. And, you know, we will be supporting your daughter. You never said her nail shop. I had to come back to that. You never said the name of the nail shop. You want to just DM it to me?
It's Nail by Maya. I can't remember the name of it, but watch Maya as.
Okay,
you guys
DM
go
it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna DM it to you, and you can announce it because she's gonna beat me up because I can't get it right.
Yes.
But you got to go to her IG page. Follow my son Clifton Powell Jr. and I think it's Clifton L. Powell and Nail by Maya. But go. I'm gonna DM you. Anyway, listen to everybody out there. Stay positive through this pandemic.
And then I'll push them out.
Yep. Through this pandemic, everybody stay positive. You know, I get up every morning, I pray and I meditate and I try to walk out and try to be a good person.